And within a space of 2 years, it was a long time coming, 2 years, by then I had gotten a mortgage in UK. So that means I'm okay with when it comes to housing. I'm not renting. The house is mine. And it's an investment. You can take the equity out or sell and move on and whatever. We work with the vision of the client. I have the time to invest in you. We sit down, we have a talk. I want to listen on what you want, what you envision, what your plan is. We make a plan and I move with that fast. And then the money comes in after. Sometimes you just leave money on the table because time is precious. I don't have time to keep doing all the legal battles. I'll just leave that check. You enjoy.
Hello and good evening. Thank you for joining us for yet another episode of the Kenya Diaspora Spotlight. This is Maria Njoroge. Today with me, I have a Kenyan from the United Kingdom. His name is David Kimani. He is an entrepreneur. He is a creative. He practices IT and healthcare. But over time, it's a career trajectory that has brought him back to the creative space. I welcome him today to tell us what he is doing here in Kenya, his business journey, and really talk us and tell us a few things about life. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Wow, what an intro.
Beat that.
You think that I'm winning an Oscar here. Thank you so much for the
Karibu Kenya.
For the invite. Asante sana.
Are you finding the weather warm? No?
It's cold.
What do you mean it's cold?
Hey! I don't remember Kenya being this cold.
Interesting. How long has it been?
I was here 2 months ago, like I never left. But this biting cold, is this normal? Really?
I'm not really sure. I've never been anywhere else.
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm just comparing with the winter in UK. But this one is biting for some reason. This one is intense.
Is it worse than winter?
No. But it's bad in comparison to what I've tasted in Kenya. Like it usually gets cold. But this time, I wish I carried my winter jacket. It's that bad.
Oh, wow, that's global warming and stories like that.
Yeah, another story for another day.
Tell us about yourself,
I'm just a guy that was born in Thika, raised and bred in Thika. And in 2002, my mom, she was doing a master's and she decided, you know what, bring the kids over. Dad tried to say, oh, this and this and that, wacha wasome kwanza, but my mom always has a vision in front of her, so she carried all of us except my older sister, and the journey started there in 2002, and from then we've been there, and in the UK, but Kenya is still home.
So 2002, how old were you then?
I was left when I was Form 2.
Form 2, so roughly 15.
15. I believe 15. I left Thika High School. I was just about to be a copy, by the way. I was gutted. But at the same time, I was excited to be in a new country. I think at that point, you're just excited to explore new things. Yeah.
Was it difficult, like the transition at that age?
No. You know what? It was more of I have a very interesting mindset because I love new things. At that point, nimesoma, by Form 2, you're almost like umeboeka na shule in a way. And then the only thing that I was looking forward to it is because I was nominated to be a captain when I come back. But that didn't happen, but it is what it is. We went in, at that age, you just adapt. So it's different from someone who's coming in their 40s, 30s, you umeshakula maisha, you've left life behind you. By then, my life was my family. And
so you didn't feel like you had to start over like that?
Yeah, so because we were there with my siblings and my dad and mom.
So what did that transition look like at that particular time?
It's kind of, when I look back, it's, nilikuwa mshamba. Wait. You know when you're thinking like you're cool, eh? Lakini you're still rocking ile kofia ya DP ya Kibaki. I still remember those days like it was yesterday. But the transition was okay. I was more fascinated of the new things that we are just now exposed to. Tuliingia kama tumeenda GCSEs. So from seeing black people all around to seeing wazungus in class and everything. But we had an edge, me and my bro had an edge, because their classes, kwa sababu tulikuwa form 2, but unfortunately for my brother, we had to start from year 10 together. So yeye alikuwa form 4, mimi nilikuwa form 2, lakini tulianza the same class. So but their education system in Kenya, we were advanced. Ile classes like for maths is what they were teaching us in year 10, ni kama tulikuwa standard 8. So my brother was so advanced, alafu anatupatia calculator. Nimewacha logbook. You know those logbooks?
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, I left those logbooks. Sir, tumepatia calculator in class. We felt like we were cheating.
Oh no.
I know, but
what's with the assumption that, you know, the education system is advanced?
Because by then we were just, whatever that was in the curriculum is something that we had covered 2 years ago. So now you can imagine me, I'm way advanced in 2 years. My bro, 4 years. So we were just chilling. Maisha ilitugonga when we went to A levels. That's when now we were level of playing field. Yeah, so from there GCSEs we did Kole, did a higher diploma in electronic engineering.
Okay.
And then kutoka hapo I went to a University of Reading. I did electronic engineering then for 1 year, and then the system changed. The system changed in a way that the funding changed kidogo, in a way that they changed the word settled. So that means I was not paying home fees, I was paying international fees, and that's a big difference of money.
Wow.
Another story for another day.
No, we have time. But okay, just walk us through that. Okay,
so then it was, home fees is like about 3,000 per year, pounds. International, 10,000 to 12,000 per year. Big difference. So when I finished the year 1, when we were coming back for term 2, the government changed something about the word settled. Settled before then, it meant that if you're here for more than 5 years, you're considered as a home student. All of a sudden, the word settled changed, and it meant that it means that you have to have an indefinite leave to remain, not just a visa. So then I was automatically put to the side. Narudi shule naambiwa, hey, fees imepanda from 3,000 to about 10,000. I remember we went to even the radio. We were interviewed in the radio with me and some other people, because we're trying to make an outcry of the changes and the people that it affected. Because that means, can you imagine, your fees are just tripled. Where do you get this money? Your mom is working like crazy just to feed us, the kids, and do the rest of the things, and then send money back home. And then you're telling us
there's a 7,000 pounds for one stop. It's not working.
Yeah.
And what's the time frame for that?
Well, the time frame for that, as in before,
like when the changes were happening and now there's a shift. Instantly,
like we closed Shule over summer. The next term that opened, now I was going to year 2. It changed in between. So Kurudi, the changes were already done in a space of 3 months, or even less than that. They were talking about it from Kitambo, and then it went and get passed as a bill, and it became law.
Okay. And so how did your life pivot now from there?
So from there, I changed universities. Now, funny story is, it's good to have case studies, because I had a friend who was in the same boat like me, same immigration status, but in another university, but they were considered as a home fees. It's always this, something to do with I don't know what they do, but something gets done uko chini. So I applied for the university, they accepted my application, and then now I went to the administration. I tell them, look, you cannot class me as an international student. Why? Because you have so and so under your books, and they're paying home fees.
Oh no. You weren't scared that the other student would be implicated?
Well, it was working for everyone's favor. because I came to this new university, they charged me international fees, but I'm in the same immigration status with a friend of ours, a family friend, who's paying home fees. So I thought, you can't just justify home fees the same category. You have to even the playing field. And I don't know whether I was lucky or it was just a miracle, but they accepted it. So from there, I paid home fees then, and I graduated with my software engineering then.
So electrical, you had to change degrees now, because
Yes.
here you were doing electrical engineering,
Yes.
but now you've gone to software engineering.
Yes. It was the only one available.
Oh no.
Yeah, because I applied late and it was through clearing. So the only course I was there was software engineering, which I thought was quite interesting because it's still programming. By then, when you're doing year one, you kind of do the same modules until year two. That's when now you start
Branching out.
Yeah.
Okay, so at what point now you finished your 4 years of schooling?
Mm-hmm.
What happens from there now?
4 years of schooling finished, and then, hey, just like I think a lot of people will kind of relate to this. And when you finish uni, you'll be like, I really don't want to do this for a living. Yeah, that was my case.
So you went through Python, databases, SQL, just to decide?
Java programming was my favorite. And then I realized that when I started looking for work, I realized like, hey, this programming changes so regular, and it's like you never leave school. Like, I was looking forward to just doing my thing and then specializing in something and leave my books alone. Let me just do the updating of myself. But I found out that industry was so challenging, and I just didn't fit in it.
Mm-hmm.
And on the side, I was still doing healthcare just to, pay the bills and everything. Yeah, and I've always been independent. I've never asked a coin from my parents.
You said since Form 2?
Yeah, since Form 2, and that's where this now journey comes in, because I've always been very business orientated. Everything that I did was kind of, I'll buy something even little and buy. And it started in high school, by the way. Yes, I was selling bread for people.
Who's not done that? Okay, I haven't, but I've heard stories.
Yeah, so I started collecting orders for people, and I'll go and get the bread. And they used to have like about 22 slices, and the bread used to be about 20 bob. So for 4 slices, you sell it for 5 bob, but you get left with the 2 at the end. That's another 5 bob. So I used to have a log of about 50 students. So I had a good relationship with the guy selling the bread. So nilikuwa nenda hapo kwa kando. He used to be like a guy from church. So he used to have my orders ready. So nimekuja hapo dining. Kila mtu ana tick back. Kamau, umebakisha 5 bob. For next month top up. Nampatia yake. So everyone coming to the dining, aendi kupiga line huko kwa canteen. Mm-hmm. They have their bread there. So I think that whole business
opened up your mind to doing business and making profit.
Yes. So buying, selling, that thing has always been inbred for me.
Oh, that's interesting. So how do we move from electrical engineer, you're now a software engineer, and now you like cameras?
And Nabado. You remember I ventured into healthcare while I was doing studying.
Interesting. Was that like something you learned, or
that's something that back then it was just like a job.
Mm-hmm.
I was in healthcare doing care assistant, care support. Mm-hmm. So back then it was just a job. You just do a shift and get your money, pay your bills and everything. But because it became almost like a profession by the time I did it for so many years, you can now do a diploma and become a full-flex nurse or something like that. But I always did it in a care support level. So I was exposed to the healthcare system at the same time doing my engineering and everything. And then I did another degree.
I kept going.
So now, because I was in healthcare, and I realized, okay, what can I use my IT knowledge and healthcare, bring it together? And I did apply to do radiography, which is oncology, because I realized that radiography has something to do with machines, the LINAC machines, the ones delivering the radiation. I was interested. My job was, my goal was to get into the system, but not to work in the clinical aspect, but operational. that didn't go to plan.
Okay. So, how many degrees have we done for someone who didn't want to do software for headset reading?
I've passed through electronic engineering, software engineering, and radiotherapy engineering, but I never finished radiography. Yes. System changed again.
School fees?
Yes.
It's interesting that we don't really get to hear a lot about some countries. We assume we only have problems here.
Yeah. Remember, when I started the first university in Reading, the word settled changed, and then it became international fees. Now, when I was pursuing my radiotherapy or radiography engineering, radiography, something changed, and back then, all NHS courses were free. The government was giving us bursaries, so you're getting paid even a grant to study. So that whole course was free, right? Until they changed something, they cut off the bursary. Yeah, so that means back to the hustle.
You can't afford it now.
You can't afford it. So that's where you have to think of your on your toes, and that's when I was doing my hobby in videography. I was just doing something, doing content and everything. I was doing it as a hobby because it's something from IT related background. For me, it became so natural. I'll see something, shoot something, create something spectacular, and then just pass it on to someone or for their content. Until one day, someone approached you, be like, "Hey, Devi, you know, most of us can't do what you're doing." I said, "What do you mean?" I'm just doing this. It's light work for me. Like, no. People pay for reels, shorts, whatever you do for content. People mtandaoni, they pay for this content. Like, really? What this? This is light work for me. I just close 5 minutes, give me some content. You now tell me that I can get paid for 5 minutes work. Like, okay, so that kind of rang a bell in my mind. And by then, I was even loving the craft even more. And then I was now married, so everything changes when you're married.
It does?
Yes. As a guy, everything changes because now it's no longer you. You're the head of the family. You have to plan things way in advance. Before then, I was planning for 2 months down the line. After 6 months, tutajua tukifika. Yeah. So when I got married, 2017, now I started thinking way ahead of time because now I'm thinking one day I'll have a kiddo, right? The wife, we're here together. What do we do? That's when now Dave Kim 254 Studios began. But before it began, I had to set things in motion. Remember, I was a businessman first. So we invested a lot here. We used to come home so many times.
Like you brought it back to Kenya?
Yes, we brought it back to Kenya in a way that since we left in 2002, we kept coming back home yearly. And when I became now about 20-something, I was coming back home like 2 to 3 times a year, right?
Why?
Because it's home. It's home. You can't leave home. Because my uncle one day fed this in my mind, and he said, "You know what, kikaumana ile pande ingine, you need to be grounded. You cannot leave the roots that you came from. Ile pande ingine passports wanaweza sema, you know what, you guys, tuleteni passport zangu. What do you do? You've left all your roots, umefunga all the gates at home. Where do you go to start?" So from back then, I've always put my roots here, right? It's always have to have like first home, and then now unajijenga ile pande ingine. But if everything was to collapse, I'll come back home comfortably.
And you would be okay because you have a community back here.
Exactly. Building that community is like my folks always tells me that the time to build relationships when you're young is now. Like keep them, like keep like watering those friendships, because when you're older, there's no time to make friends. Those are the people that you grow old with. It's very important. Otherwise, you end up in a care home alone.
Okay, that's really sad. I don't even know to think about that in a Kenyan context. However, I want to take you back to this point where we had a disconnect where you stopped school, but you said you're still doing care work, and then now there's this creativity thing that has come in. So, did you transition into business, or there was some thought process in maybe how to transition from a full-time job to maybe this thing that's now a hobby, but somehow has potential to make us money?
Yes. So when my friend told me that I can make money in this business, that kind of lit something in my mind. I'm like, you know what? I enjoy this. What's the worst that can happen, right? By then I was doing an IT job in the NHS. Now I've got an IT job, by the way, right? using my own engineering qualifications. I'm working for the NHS as an IT specialist, right, for the NHS. I'm working. I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this because, again, it's light work for me. Anything tech, it comes very natural to me. When it comes to database, I can learn about programming. I can learn about troubleshooting. For me, it's you know, when you see a problem on the computer, my thought process is I can't stop until I solve it. So for me to solve these things on a personal level, personal time, to me work was easy because those are the problems that they come in for me to solve. And I solve them at home with my folks, my brothers, my siblings, same problems you get paid by the NHS to do. So I was doing IT job for a while, for about 4 years. At the same time, building David Kimani 254 studios on the side and investing back home to make sure when I make that jump, because I was going to make the jump, that everything is in a level playing field, right? I'm not just leaving employment and then you have to plan. If I wasn't married, that would have been my plan, like jump. When I'll land, but as a family, you need to have something sustainable. So during employment, I realized something. I'm trying to get David Kimani 254 studios off the ground, but it's in a time. I'm on a 9 to 5, right? Weekends, I'm either resting or doing something, or events, there's always something. Church Sunday, there you go. And then after church Sunday, nika lunch, alafu you just want to relax, ready for Monday. So I realized one thing, like these employers, right? I'll go to the employer and be like, yo, I need a pay rise. They check my work and be like, yeah, we can't lose this guy. Okay, we'll give you a pay rise. One day I sat down like, man, and I need to do what I love most, but I need to get this company off the ground. And I realized that these employers, they don't not only pay you just because of your skills, they pay you for the time that you put in that company. If the employer was to say, kila mtu anafanya 1 hour Monday, 3 hours Tuesday, those free time, people will find something to get out of employment.
Can we petition to have that? I would love that.
Yeah?
I would love that.
There we go. And that's when I realized the most precious thing you have is time. Time is priceless. I had to create time to make sure that David Kimani 254 Studios gets off the ground. I went to the employer and told them, look, I can't do Monday to Friday, wacha tu nifanye Monday to Thursday. And then what they accepted, I'll be like, cool. Then that Friday is when now I started building the infrastructure of David Kimani 254 Studios, what I want to do, 5-year plan, and the skills I need to make sure that I'm level with the competition. I needed to get my editing skills professionally done. I needed to know about photography. I needed to know about videography, because once you know everything about the camera, the list of things that you can do is endless, from live streaming, from content creation, from brand awareness, YouTube, TikTok. It starts with the professionalism of knowing your camera, right? And I realized, like, with that 1 day of the week, right, I'm getting clients, and those clients are getting me paid to a level that the NHS is paying me in a month. I'm like, yo. So this is the secret, time. I went to my employer, like, look, kuna venye, I need to do only 3 days. They refused, obviously. They were like, hey, you can't do 3 days, but we can do what they call flexi hours. So you can do 3 days here, and then the next week you do 4. And then next week you do 3, and then you do 4. I said, okay, fine, fair enough. Big mistake. That's the biggest mistake the NHS did, giving me time to do what I want to do. With those 2 days I was getting extra per month. This is now, I started building clientele, and I started building my website. I started getting out there, right? And within a space of 2 years, it was a long time coming, 2 years, by then I had gotten a mortgage in UK. So that means I'm okay with when it comes to housing. I'm not renting. The house is mine, and it's an investment. You can take the equity out or sell and move on and whatever. In those same 2 years, I had bought 2 apartments in Kenya, right? Collecting either Airbnb or rental. Now I was sorted. With those 2 years, you remember the time that
my joy is on the floor.
Yes, the time. I wouldn't have done that if I was doing that Monday to Friday. With that time, I was able to build a portfolio here, right? Get some income coming, get a mortgage in the UK, and do some side hustles here and there because I was still flipping cars at some point. Another side of the story. Okay, yeah. But it was all because I realized another thing is in UK, I don't know whether in Kenya is different probably, but when, let's say you and your partner are expecting a baby, the mother gets about 9 months maternity leave, right? Which I know it's a good thing in the UK, not in Kenya, because I think you get what?
You get 9 months of maternity, paid or unpaid?
Full pay from the employment, 9 months.
I'm in the wrong economy.
But for the fathers, we get 2 weeks only. And I thought, I do a partner. I can't get 2 weeks just to bond with my child, right? I come from a family that my parents were always there for us, right? And I also know that people, or rather my friends who had an imbalance in the family, ended up in a certain way, right? So from then, I realized, like, when my turn comes in, I don't want to move, like, I don't want to lose any momentum with my child. So employment gives me 2 weeks. That even fueled the fire, because I need to get out before this kiddo comes. I need to get out because I need time. And that's the backbone of David Kim 254 Studios. That's what propelled it, to have time with my child when they come, because I would do an event per weekend and get paid twice what the employment was to pay me.
A weekend?
Yeah, because you hold events. Any videographer and photographer will tell you that you're getting paid for your time, right? Not for entirely your skills. And that's what I based my level base of David Kim 254 Studios is I'm not selling my skills because skills kila mtu ako nazo. I'm selling my time. If a company comes in, right, and tells me I want to build a certain brand, right, you can't do it alone because you only have 24 hours in a day. 8 hours or 10 hours you're sleeping. So you only have probably 4 or 5 really productive hours. If I have, because I have my office, right? I have a whole 24 hours, okay, minus the sleeping ones. I have 2 hours that I can build something for you. So literally, I am selling my time to you.
And then the rest of the 22 hours, it's you and your family.
Exactly. So all of a sudden, you have not only 24 hours, but you have 2 hours extra because you've outsourced someone that can carry your vision. That's what I realized, like, yo, this business is just not money. You can have as many skills as you want, which I kind of based it as a, like a basic need of this business to work. You can have the skills, you can have the talent, but if you don't have time, there's nothing you're building. So I made the skills work for me. When I said light work, I made editing light work for me. Give me anything to edit, it would take a normal person like about 8 hours, but because I've perfected the skill in that, it would take me only 2 hours or an hour. That means I have more time to give, but I'm still getting paid for a whole day's work. You work smart. And that's how Dave Kim 254 operates. We work with the vision of the client. I have the time to invest in you. We sit down, we have a talk. I want to listen on what you want, what you envision, what your plan is. We make a plan, and I move with that fast. And then the money comes in after. But the vision comes in first. I like going with the vision barrier. Ukiniambia, if someone comes in from a company, let's say like, I don't know, BP, right? And you just give me a HR person and the CEO wants this done. I'd rather have 5 minutes with the CEO because he's a vision barrier. He's a vision carrier, For me, that is what I value most with a client. Give me your vision, share your vision with me, we'll talk about it, and my media coverage or your brand awareness or whatever package that you're contracting me to do will go along with that. And that's what most of my clients value. Most of them are like, we've hired one videographer and a photographer and editor, but they did their own thing and kind of deviates from the pattern of the company because they never followed the vision of the vision carrier. And that's what I really, really value in our business.
Okay, so talking about Dave Kim 254, you did say that 254 is because you come from Kenya?
Yes. Thank you for noticing that. 254 is home. Is the area, is the code for calling back home. 254 had to feature in my company because I will always know where home is. Whether I'm based in UK or in Kenya, 254, not 44. I'm grateful for the God Save the Queen and the King. I'm grateful. But where my blood is in Kenya.
So are there aspects of the business that are maybe in Kenya, and is that something that you would like to bring?
It's part of the 10-year plan.
Oh, right now you're working the 5-year one?
Yeah, we kind of in the 5-year, which is going good.
Okay.
We established the footing and the brand awareness in UK, right? We might be a very small company, but as I say, the vision carrier is very important, and that's the most key person in the company. So the projection for the next 10 years is to kind of have a franchise here in Kenya, bring it back home, right? Create employment back home. But at the same time, you have to, before I do that, my brand has to be in a certain standard to come back home, because there's a lot of videographers, photographers, I see them on the streets. It's done. It's not something new. But when I come in with a brand. A brand is very important in a company. You just don't come with a normal Mwananchi. You come in with a brand, they recognize the brand, and that is what they pay you for. Mm-hmm. And that's the projection, right? There's a lot of competition in Kenya, which I appreciate. Everyone is doing their craft. It's beautiful. I enjoy looking at what's happening in Kenya. But when I come in, you will know.
Okay, that's interesting and also very cryptic. So let's focus on the 5 years that I'm very sure you're very, very ready to share. Mm. What are some of the things that are on Dev 254 portfolio? Like, what can you comfortably handle right now as a company?
Okay, so we started off with videography and photography. Then as a package, so we offer 2 services, whether you can get one of them or both of them as a package. Editing, we added that service as well. We don't have to shoot the content for you, but maybe you have content that you need to be edited in a certain way. We offer that service as well. The reason why I did that is because photography and videography sometimes can be only be seasonal. right? Events when the sun is out, summer it's busy period. Or what happens in the weekdays? I have time. Editing comes in. So I kind of put that service in, because if I'm not doing events, I'm in my computer, staying in from my computer, working for my clients, editing. Now we're doing live streaming, because if you have a camera, you have your editing skills, you have internet, you have the software, why not, right? So all those 4 aspects are working along in the media section, but because we do events, I realize there's another gap: photo booth service. Now, photo booth service is something that I really thought about. I'm like, okay, it's bringing in money on the weekend. It's fun. We got a 360 photo booth and a vintage photo booth, which is instant sharing. In this day and age, people want instant. They don't want to wait. So I brought that in, right? It's quite very famous in any wedding events in the UK, right? And I'm sure I've seen it even in Kenya in the 360 photo booth. Now, something I created a package of, and I realized brand awareness, right? What is brand awareness? It's something bringing the wateja back to an attention, bringing the attention back to a brand. How do I do that? Like, for example, in Kenya in the park, right? I realized some of my clients wanted some exclusive media coverage, right? And I said, okay, there's so many stalls, so many companies around. How do you make sure that everyone passing around comes to your stall and stays for another 10 more seconds? Bing, photo booth, right? Now imagine you have a stall, right? I'm covering your media, I'm doing your behind the scenes, right? I'm doing your content for your social media, but people are passing. You have a sales team, right? So I worked with a real estate company, right? They had a sales team, but people kept passing by. I just need you to get your attention and stay 10 seconds, and then the sales team can do their thing. Exactly. So I brought the photo booth service. It's instant, it's interactive, and even the kids enjoy it. And when they come, they say, go bring your parents. Take a picture. You get it there for free. But at the same time, you've spent more than 20 seconds in that store. And then that's when the sales team use their strongest point. Hello. It starts with a hello. And from there, they go and make sales.
Everybody wins.
Exactly. So it's that part of business that I created as a package. Everything. Remember, when you have a camera, there's so many ventures that you can do, right? So many, as I mentioned, photography, videography, live streaming, photo booth service. All those people is a team that I've created employment for, right? And it's important to also work with the people in your industry, because when my team of 4 have gone out to do a certain event and there's another person coming in for the same date, what do? I work closely with some colleagues of mine in the same industry. We work hand in hand. When they're short one person, I can give them one of the team members, and they go under their banner, right? It's like a secret code for media. If I'm inviting you as a second shooter, you don't come in as your name. You might have a big company, but you come in invited as a company umbrella by the person who invited you. So it's kind of a mutual respect within the industry that you always have to work within the same person. So that's how this industry has expanded.
Oh, that's really interesting. So I'm thinking about, I've covered content before for business in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because you haven't done business here in Kenya. I don't know if you can make a comparison between the business environments, despite industries being different. Do you notice a difference in how business works in terms of money, cash flow, sustainability?
I tend to focus more on the deliverables rather than
Not money.
Not money. For me, money comes second.
Interesting.
I enjoy what I do first, and that's why I keep doing it. Having this conversation with the client, like as I said, I was here 2 months ago doing a project for another real estate company, And for them, how they approached me is they said, okay, we selling our properties local, but how do we sell our properties in diaspora? So I came in with an idea and I told them, look, first of all, create a social media presence. You need media coverage that you can repurpose for any sort of aspect that you want to do. And thirdly is we go with what you want. Do you want to sell 200 properties here, UK, US, Russia if you want? What's your target audience? We work with that. Your target audience is different how you edit the content for someone in America.
That's interesting.
And someone who's in UK.
Also.
Because first of all, rates, the dollar, the pounds, right? And the families, right? There's this thing I've realized that in UK, we kind of like some sort of standardized way of doing business, transparency and everything. So I kind of put that in their content. And not only just say that you're transparent and this is how you work, make sure that your the way you do business from sales to the end is kind of matching the same way the UK people expect you to do. Same thing as the US. I think US is more relaxed a bit because I think they're more very land rather than property. That I've realized in that real estate company, they told me that 20% is UK, 10% is Americans. And if you check the land, the people buying the land is more Americans than the UK. UK are more into brick and mortar, yeah. So the target audience matters. So for me, is bringing that to the company and delivering, it gives me joy. The money comes in after. It follows you. Because if you deliver, they'll pay anything.
Wow, that's a really good attitude, and I really hope like it's something that sustains the business for the next 5-10 years. So I mean the 10-year vision is quite far considering you're still in 2025. So I'm hoping that we'll still have another conversation into how that is going to go. So we're talking about the business, and we've already covered the portfolio that you have and what you're doing in Kenya and what you're doing in the United Kingdom. What can you say has been a challenge in terms of business and, trying to come from employment where there was a bit of steady income, and now you're in this industry where it's client to client?
I think the biggest challenge I've had is clients who are not building your brand. I've had situations where I've left money on the table because there's a part of the journey that we've gone with someone and they show their true colors after a month or so. What I mean is they did something that potentially can damage my brand. They did something that I wasn't aware that I'm getting into. There's a certain industry, and from there I was like, nah, you didn't say that at the beginning. That's not what the contract says. It went legal, blah blah blah, because contract is legal.
I don't do people to court?
Not to court, not to court. They haven't gone that far, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just leave money on the table because time is precious. I don't have time to keep doing all the legal battles. I'll just leave that check. You enjoy, right? As long as my brand is intact, because the brand is very, very important. If my brand gets associated with something that I'm not aware of, right? It's going to damage my career. It's going to damage what I'm planning in the next 10 years. So it's something I protect very much is branding. If something does not align with my core values, I say no. You might bring a check of $1 million, but I'll say no.
That's interesting.
10 years plan, the bigger picture.
Oh, bigger picture. I don't know, maybe I'm still at a point where the money matters. And I'm hoping that as I listen to you and even grow myself as a business and as a person, I focus on the output more.
Yes.
Okay, so if an entrepreneur or maybe a young Kenyan was listening to you today, thinking of starting a business, you've talked about the aspect of time and how having a family for you was that light bulb for you. What would you tell them?
I say be original.
Okay.
Be original. Stay in your lane.
What does that mean?
It means that your friend might be doing the same thing, but they probably was given a silver spoon when they were growing up. But don't try to match them. Concentrate on what you have, the talent that you have, the talent that you don't have. Try get it done. Same thing as I did. I wasn't born doing editing, but I studied. YouTube is your best class, by the way. YouTube is your best teacher. Go and do your thing, specialize on one thing and perfect one thing and concentrate on that one thing, and trust me, something will work out. So whoever is trying to get out of, let's say, employment, I'm not telling them to get out of employment just like that. I'm not telling them that employment is good. It gives you cash, it gives you stability. But if you have an edge of business, it requires a sacrifice. And the sacrifice doesn't mean that you just jump off the leap just like that. No, you have to have a plan that makes sure that you're not just jumping off the ledge just like that. Create some sort of income on the side that will sustain you for a good 1 year, because as you know, the first year of business is the most difficult one. You're just literally just making ends meet before everything starts coming up. It's very common in business. So make sure that you have a leg to stand on, right? But most important is time. If you can spare time, if you can create time out of your busy life, you can build so much with that time. So msikalie masikio. No, don't Netflix and play Xbox and PlayStation all day.
Okay, that's really good advice. You say you're umekuwa mhenga, like you've got to an age where you can advise young people.
Well, let's just say kuna Gen Z, kuna Gen Beta, na kuna Gen Alpha. I think we've been pushed on to the
age.
Yeah, see millennials. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is.
But I have through this story, I'm getting someone who's very determined and very consistent and has a plan, because you look like you have like a structure of how you want things to go. Does life ever?
Oh yeah. Life does go south. It does go south. It doesn't always work out to plan. But as you said, the vision. As long as the vision is ahead of you, you might take 3 routes that will take you longer to get there. But don't drop the vision. Utafika tu.
What keeps you going? Are there people that ground you and remind you that this is what you're doing for?
Yeah, my folks are a very strong pillar in my life. They've been there for the longest time. They are Christians, but they're born again. They're actually ministers. So for me, I've seen the life that they've lived. So, and for me, is I don't just live the life that I have not seen. I've lived with these guys for a long time before I left the nest. And I can tell you, there's some things that you really need to kind of hold on to, but be humble. Be humble. Hata akiwa you're making millions, be humble. Okay. Yeah. So those are my role models. My dad is my role model.
Oh wow, that's really impressive. Say hello to him when you do go back. And I hope that your son or daughter does know
daughter,
that
7 months.
7 months. Yeah. Does she know you quit an IT job for her?
Her plan was created 5 years down the line, but she only came 7 months ago.
Oh, that's really impressive.
So by the time she came, I'm spending so much time with her, and I love that.
That's really nice. And all the best as you start this other journey, because I know there's business, but now there's a whole family, and that's a whole other path. But I hope we can meet some other time and talk about.
Yeah.
But it's been really nice listening to you.
Thank you.
I have a feeling I'm going to start a business after this.
Please do.
Interview.
Let me know. Let me see. Let me know where I can help.
Thank you. Thank you very much for keeping us company for the last 30 minutes, maybe an hour that we have been having this conversation. This has been the Diaspora Spotlight, and today we've had an entrepreneur, David Kim254. Search him on all social media. He's going to tell us where we can find him, where we can see his work and what he's doing here in Kenya and even in the United Kingdom. We hope you do enjoy the rest of your stay, and All the best in your business.
Thank you.
We
very
look forward to
much.
having you in our platform again when you do that 10-year.
Yes. Stay tuned.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned.
Haya, kwaherini. Follow us on all our social media platform, engage with the content, subscribe and comment. See you next time. Kwaherini.